So, how can you tell if the guy you're talking to is healed? And I'm going to break out some signs that I've seen in my recent attempts at trying to talk to people on dating apps. Um, okay, so my last meeting with a guy, as I'm looking back and identifying what were the good things that I saw, which was why I was like continuing to talk to him? And then what were the signs that led me to believe, okay, you need to cut this off. Like it's not okay. Um, and there were some early indicators. So when we first met, you know, I don't know if it's like me being too over analytical or whatever, but sometimes when a guy is overly, like, over the top with the eye contact and, even leading up to that too, we did a video call and he was very focused on asking me a ton of questions, um, and yeah, the speed in which he was talking, it was, like, a lot, um, so there was that. And just the compatibility with that. If someone is talking and nonstop, like I just kind of shut down. And that's just how I am, you know? So like seeing that right off the bat was kind of like, and I noticed myself having to like keep up with the energy too. And like if that is something that resonates with you, I think it's important to identify like, am I pushing myself to like keep up with this person's energy? And like, also, is this real coming from this person? Like the non-stop, like, uh, high energy. I don't know. I think certain situations will hype me up or whatever, or like I'll get excitable, but like just like meeting someone for the first time, especially in this type of like dynamic, I'm not going to be like overly trying to win them over or anything like that. So it did come off a little bit like he was trying really hard to win me over. And there are so many signs with that, like with the I don't know if you would call it peacocking, but like dropping all this information about how his success and how much money his business is spending on certain things. And like to me it's like, well, that is your business, that's a separate entity. Like, and also like I never really got I never really like understood like, does the guy think that I'm gonna be getting money from him? Like I don't know how that works. I don't know, and maybe I'm just ignorant. Like I have been in my own bubble and like, and I don't know. Like if a guy wants to like start a family and all this stuff, then yeah, like um it's important to know he's making income or whatever. But I think at the end of the day it's more about like trust and a connection with someone and like loyalty. And that doesn't mean that I'm not able to adapt to certain lifestyles. Like if we need to cut back, like you know, uh, I don't know if that resonates with anyone else because, like, of course, everyone has their preferences and there's trade offs with that. If a girl wants a certain lifestyle, like, she may have to make sacrifices, like, with the loyalty part of it and the, other things like the attention and the connection, emotional bandwidth, things like that. Because obviously, a guy making a shit ton of money and wanting to invest in you in that way, um, yeah, there's trade-offs. And to me, like building a life worth living and building a life with someone, like that person I spend the rest of my life with is going to have the biggest impact on me. So, like, I need to be careful. And money, like at this current day and time, like does not translate to the potential of like a connection or whatever. Um, anyways, so that was kind of a long tangent. So next, um, in the meeting with him, it was like the eye contact was like kind of intense. And I feel like that's kind of like a weird thing, like they're trying too hard to show like I'm I'm able to be a person. Like I don't know. Like I'd rather just be like natural with like uh it's not like I don't know, but I get the guys have pressure to do the whatever. Um anyways, that's kind of what I look for. And then they use your name too. They'll drop like, "Oh, tell me more about that." And like nonstop eye contact and like using your name nonstop. That always kind of triggers me because it's like kind of like a salesman's tactic. And they think it's like building trust, but it's actually like fire alarms going off on me. Like, okay, you're gonna use these tactics on me. Um, yeah, I don't know. I just see through it. And another thing too, like, is he projecting? Like, is he able to actually listen and sit with that, or like try to understand you, or whatever? Because I noticed in the conversations, like he was constantly like kind of interrupting and like all this stuff, and like I don't know, it was just like it was jumping like back and forth. It was so ADD. And it was like, oh my gosh, like this is just a lot. Like, I don't know. I kind of like match people's energy a little bit. Like, I'll be like, oh, yeah, yeah. And then, like, just kind of like, whatever, brushing it off. And what I noticed too, like, so he brought up something with this dog. So I have a backstory where, I was living with this guy. I asked him how to get a dog, and then he was like ignoring me. And then, he was gonna get one, and I said, "Please just don't get a pit bull." He ended up getting it. Anyways, that can be a whole nother thing that I dive into, with that. But basically, he introduced this stray pit bull that was very anxious, and I'm like basically an anxious person myself, and like matching people with breeds is a thing that you should consider. Like if you're a super anxious person, like you should not get a stray anxious dog that has been probably like been through it. I mean, he had battle wounds. Anyway, so he ended up biting me on the wrist, and then another day, like after I was trying to get over that, he bit me in the face, and it was horrifying. It was very traumatic. And I just like kind of like dropped it like naturally. Like, well, now I have because there was a dog in the coffee house thing, and like and I get cortisol like uh and I mean I can hide it pretty well if it's like depending on the breed. Um but it's there. And anyway, so there was a dog that came up, and I was just like, and then he brought up his dog, and he's like, "Oh, do you have a dog?" And then he's like showing me pictures of his dog. Look. And then it's oh look. Look at my dog. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I would be afraid of that one. It was a pit bull, and it was big. And just like the one that bit me. So it bit me on the face, and I could have gone blind because it was like the jaw. I had a Harry Potter scar, all this stuff. My face blew up, black and blue, like blood gushing everywhere. Yeah, it was a thing. And okay, so I don't want to be around a pit bull. I don't care. I don't care if it's super well trained. He literally, and I'm explaining like, oh, I get, kind of anxious around dogs, or I get anxious, or like I don't know how I worded it, but he of course is taking over the conversation. Oh, you'll be fine with her, and he's just like projecting this image, which he didn't even consider. I don't want to be around a dog like that. I don't. I It's not worth it to me. And if you have a different breed, fine. But I'm not. And like he literally just starts. "Oh, you're gonna love her. She's did it," and he's going on and on and on, and I'm just like, I have nothing to say to that because it's like, you don't even ask my input. Like, you don't give a shit what I want or what I see. Like, so that's like a whole nother thing. It's like when the guy is just kind of bulldozing a lot of things. And then in the end, it was so clear with the bulldozing. Um, yeah, it was just nonstop talking. He happened to say, "Oh, I hate texting." Um, but it was with the texting, it was nonstop too. It was like the responses, but then I couldn't even respond because he was typing up another text. So it was like, okay, you say you hate texting, but yeah, you're sitting here like nonstop. And then with the like video messages, that was a whole nother thing. I'm like, okay, I'm literally trying to reciprocate with a video message back to you. And I'm sitting here today and I'm like, I don't want to do it. I just don't feel like sending a video. Like, I was recovering from major surgery on my foot. And okay, I look like shit. Okay. I can't do my hair. I can't move without crutches. Like, whatever. I'm not complaining. I'm going to get better. It's okay. And I'm just like, I just don't feel cute. I don't want to be sending these freaking videos to some stranger. Like fostering this like fake closeness. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's something you would do when you're in a relationship or like, I don't know. The whole video thing started coming off very fake because it's like, why is he putting on this show for me? And I just would hear like these how he's like making himself laugh. And he's like having conversations. He'll send me something else. So I did a thing and it was like, um, I don't really need to hear your inner monologue like constantly and then see it like constantly. It was just very weird. It's very weird. Um, I mean, you could say I'm doing the same thing right now, but you guys like hearing my stories. And also, I'm trying to provide the insight for you. So when you are out there talking to these guys that are insecure or whatever, and that's the thing, like, I just really, the anxious attachment guys, it's, I just can't do that. And yeah, I think if anything, I would prefer a dismissive avoidant guy that's on his way to secure. Like he can hear my feelings and like if I like say it in the right way, like if we work together, like I think that would be better. I mean, if I can't find a secure guy, that is, but I just can't do the anxious attachment because it's like it's just way too much. It's way too much. And then it just makes it feel like he's not really like masculine at all. Like he may look masculine, but then it's the way he's acting is like I just can't be attracted to that. Anyway, so yeah, the final straw was how he reacted when I was like, okay, because of the cast now and being on crutches, non-weight bearing, and like post surgery, okay. Um, I'm not gonna risk going out in severe weather warnings and thunderstorm and flooding. Okay, let's just reschedule. And so I just told him like, yeah, it's not worth it. Like we should just reschedule and like whatever. And he was, and I'm glad I did it on the call because then I could really see how he reacts to that, instead of him creating some video response that's fake. So I was able to hear his real response to that. And that is key. How does a guy respond when something doesn't go as planned or something doesn't go his way? That is going to be the biggest tell. Like, does this guy have capacity to even look beyond himself and recognize my comfort level and empathize? Like, that is the biggest thing. And that's what really, through the line for me. I'm like, okay, well, it's way too clear that this guy has no capacity to like sit with that or like accept when something doesn't go his way. Yeah, so that's like huge. And I think with that, it's like just looking at it from his perspective, if he's like so anxiously attached, I mean, he was coming on strong way too early. And it's like, okay, well, obviously, this is some sort of like he's getting external validation somehow. Whatever I symbolized to him, it was like telling him that he's chosen or whatever it might be. Like, I don't know the inner workings of his brain or subconscious mind, but I assume it's something like getting worth or, validated, external validation. And I think it's so important for you to be aware of that because people that tend to flock to these apps, it's people that need that external validation. But then what about the rest of us that are actually like, okay, we're working on our things. We're getting our buckets filled with all the other joys in life. And then we're getting worth and value internally. Like what are things and like things that I'm working on now for that are like, what do I value in myself? And it's not like, what do I do for other people? What do I do? But just certain things about me that make me, who I am and make me worth something to myself, because a lot of my background has been you got to prove your worth, you got to earn love, all this stuff. Like love is pain. And even on the day to day, it's like I have to work my ass off to be able to go to bed at night. I have to not only kill it in the gym at jujitsu or Pilates or whatever, weightlifting. I have to kill it at work. I have to provide value and insight for the customers, for the clients. I have to perform. And, you know, that's still something I'm working on. But that's always how it's kind of been. And then when it comes to relationships, it's like, I guess just I kind of felt like I was only really valued if, I was giving something to the guy or whatever. And usually that just means sex or whatever, like whatever they're trying to get from me. And I think, back in my day growing up, that was kind of what we were taught. Like, okay, you don't give it up, like he's gonna get it elsewhere. Like you need to be able to satisfy him. Otherwise, like, what's the point of you being around? And like you need to give him sex. You need to give him that stuff. And I think that's something hard to change when you're older, like because you've grown up with that vibe, like, and then just how guys have always like acted towards me too, like, um, which I'm sure a lot of you ladies like, and nowadays with all the Me Too stuff, like I think they're afraid to like touch you or whatever, but like growing up, like middle school, it's like people were like groping me and I would freeze. And it's like, okay, that's what I grew up with. So that was like probably shaping just, how I thought about, okay, well, your body's the only thing that's like valuable to guys. And so if you don't have that, then you're not valuable. And it's just like that's so much pressure to to look a certain way and to give it up and like all this stuff. Like that's a lot. Um, but yeah, so kind of went on a long tangent with that, but um basically, yeah, I think those are the major things. And I guess I was talking about like ways that I'm getting internal validation for myself. It's like um identifying those things that make me great and like honing in on that and like telling it to myself and holding it like so, and especially when your brain is in those more malleable states. So like before you go to bed or right when you wake up, um like telling yourself, and like affirmations are not the best, but it's like when you do it, when you're internalizing it and you're kind of rewiring how you think about yourself. Like, I'm valuable because XYZ. And if you need examples or anything like that, let me know in the comments. Something that I'm thinking about for myself is just like the way that I show up. Um, for the people that I love, like I will go to war for anyone that I love. And that's like my family, my nieces, like I will do whatever it takes and I will be there. And so I'm like that rock. And I think that's like a huge part of me that makes me valuable. And because at the end of the day, like who cares what you did at work? It's a job. Um, yeah, I love breaking out the data and actually providing value for businesses. I think that's great. But it's like the deeper um trait behind that. It's like I care deeply about people, and I think that's truly valuable, you know. I care about people's well-being and, fairness and all this stuff. I mean, I don't believe in like fairness really, but yeah, I believe in like um I guess just like standing up for people or whatever. Um yeah, this was kind of like a long tangent, but I hope you guys enjoyed it and hopefully you got some value out of it too. If you're working on how to internalize your own value and things like that, I'd love to hear more about that. So leave a comment. And then also too, what are red flags that you are dealing with or you're seeing? So like and subscribe if you like the channel.